It's no surprise how racism is so consistent worldwide, and it's not something that's just happening in America, and we realize that. And it's a fucking shame that it's happening here, but it doesn't surprise me because people, they grow up with this mindset. You know, it's kind of hard to change somebody's paradigm when it's already set in. But at that point, I feel like it's just ignorance because everything's evolving except you know? And it's a fucking shame. It's bullshit, really.
I think all this rubbish of discriminating people at the front door is bullshit. If people have got money and they're willing to spend, let them come in the club and have a good time and spend their money.
I just didn't believe that was actually happening. I'm still like in shock.
Yeah, and it's got such a good club, like it's got such a good rep, like people want to go there, and for you to like judge people at the door and discriminate them is bullshit. Like,
I think discrimination of that kind
I think we should boycott the club.
What happened at District Nightclub? If you want to go district, that says a lot about you. If you kick up a fuss about not going district, says a lot about you. The fact that they said they don't want to let people in that are of tanned or brown complexion shows that that's an establishment that no one should even be supported in the first place. So yeah, I mean, you don't have a good time in district anyway, it's rubbish. So they're bang out of order. I'll never be spending money in there again. Not that I even liked it in the first place. But yeah, them girls, I just wonder if they would have kicked up the same fuss if they got in.
It's the same thing that's going on in America.
Yeah.
It's liberty and justice for all, not just for some. So that's how I feel on the situation. We don't need your funky club to go into. And it's all love.
So when they say all lives matter, that's bullshit, because clearly all lives matter, but we need to focus on the black ones right now.
You see in this social media age where opinions are no longer just a passing thought. People take things so drastically and focus so much energy on things that don't really have any meaning behind them. Okay, I can understand the bigger picture and the principle of the situation, but when there are things that are far greater, I don't really see a lot of public appeal. I.e., when I saw a lot of black people at Calais not being let into the country, I didn't see people slapping up pictures about that. And we're talking about people with kids, with real lives. I didn't see no one making up noise about all the people when their brothers and sisters standing outside that couldn't get into the country. I didn't hear any noise about that. But for women that can't get into a club, you know, it's just, I don't know. I'm not saying it's right, but at the same time, I think we can focus on it. There's far more bigger issues in the world right now, and in England as a whole, that we need to focus on, other than a few women trying to get in with painted toes into a club. I'm just saying.
Like, they have R&B night, but you don't want black people to attend. You don't want people that listen to R&B to be there, and it's not cool.
It's just crazy, to be honest. Like, I can't believe, you know, in 2015, this day and age, that the color of your skin could be, you know, what prevents you from getting into a club. Like, that's crazy, man. I just think, when I heard about it, I was so shocked, and it kind of all, I was shocked but kind of not surprised, because it's like it all ties into the whole racial thing that's going on, you know, this year and like the past couple of years, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it makes me, it's kind of shameful really, like the fact that I live in London and there's a club in London that's going on with this bullshit, like, you know, and I'm not surprised about the outrage and all the protests and, you know, the uproar about the whole thing, because the club, they just have wrong morals, do you know what I mean? You can't expect to, you know, shun a whole race of people from coming into a club. I just think that's disgusting, and I think it shows that whoever it is that runs the club, they have to be racist, because it's only, you know, it's what they say goes. Do you know what I mean? So then they'll tell their employees, oh yeah, don't let blah 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 into the club. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just think it's awful, to be honest. That's basically what I think, man.
No establishment that wants to take people in to have a good time and enjoy their evenings or whatever should not be saying things like that. And I'm all for like, yeah, if the club is too full, or if you're at a house party, you don't want, it's my house party, I don't want to let more people in, alright, cool, but I'm not going to say it's because you're black or it's because you're too fat. I'm not a racist person at all, and I hate people being racist, but it's like one of these things where there are bigger things to worry about, and it's just, if you're gonna worry about not being let into a club, then you've really got to like step your life up and kind of realize that there are more important things going on in the world. And if something more important than this ever happened to you, you'd be wanting people to be on this like they have been on this little club shenanigan thing. But you know, it's just how it happens in central London. Like, people are racist every day, and people get discriminated against every day, and you don't see it on the news all the time, do you? Like, yeah, when there's footballers who are being racially discriminated, it's a massive thing, and FIFA does a massive thing about it. But then, you know, in a week's time, nobody's gonna remember the person outside district who didn't let in for being too black or too fat. It's just, it completely puzzles me, and it makes me angry that people worry about these kind of things when there's so many bigger things to worry about. I guarantee you, in these people's lives who got discriminated against outside the club, they've got bigger things to worry about. Whether that be unemployed, whether that be they're struggling at university or struggling to get into university even. There's bigger things to worry about than not being able to spend your money in a club. It's crazy.
For me and people from my era, kind of going out in the 80s, late 80s, 90s, different clubs, etc., etc. This is really nothing new. This is something that has been happening for a long time. So, although they've chosen to speak on a subject that's not new, and maybe, actually a friend of mine said maybe it's important to them. Maybe, you know, socializing right now is a big thing, maybe bigger than it ever was. So, if it's gonna highlight that there's an issue in general, it's not just clubs that we're being not given entry to, or you know, not being allowed into. It's a whole bunch of things. It's different. It could be business, it could be certain types of jobs, it could be certain types of opportunities. So this is just, I think, if this is a catalyst for younger people to see that there's an issue, then it's good. Yeah, and that's pretty much my view. So it's nothing new, but it does highlight that there are still many isms in the UK today, in London today, that people don't pick up on anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't really get how they can do that in this day and age. There's so many political correctness things out there that it just doesn't make sense that they would do that so openly as well. I wouldn't go there. I don't think people should go there. I think people should boycott it. That type of treatment shouldn't exist. We should stamp it out.
Okay, so in terms of the incident that happened at the District Nightclub, where basically they refused to let a couple of black girls in because they were overweight and clearly dark, you know, marking their heritage, I find it to be disappointing. I find it to be narrow-minded. I think it clearly shows that despite all the changes we're trying to make today, there's still a lot of issues and a lot of intolerant attitudes in society that have to be dealt with. We have to bring these issues out in the open, and most importantly, we have to stand together and make it very clear that's unacceptable and it shouldn't carry on. Anyone that has the audacity to judge someone on the basis of their color or race, or even how they look, when, you know, seeking to whether authorize them to enter any kind of public building or social environment, shouldn't be operating a social environment. The whole idea of nightclubs is because you're meant to be going out there mingling with society. You're a part of society, whether you're black, whether you're overweight, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're white, and for you to be discriminated against in that manner is disgusting, and I can't believe it still happens today. I'm very, very disappointed and shocked. And like I said, I think people need to be open about this, recognize that it happens, and bring it out in the open.